It's This Week in Bourbon, and the national parks have gotten really saucy. Here's your headlines for May 16th, 2025. Old Elk has been acquired by Middle West Spirits. Bardstown Bourbon Company has named a new master blender. And Blue Run releases the Blue Run Flight Series. And before we get started, here's a quick word from our partners. Everybody, welcome back. It's This Week in Bourbon. Welcome.
Welcome, everyone.
I sent you some of these TikToks, you and Brian, one night when I was down. They got racy.
I know. I was like, my kids were in the room, and I thought, oh, they're national parks. Shouldn't be that. And I'm like, oh, put on mute.
Put on mute. If anybody that doesn't know, Yellowstone started this thing. I don't know what happened, but Yellowstone National Park, they went viral, and it's literally forests and waterfalls and all these things, but then it's like wet ass and like all this other kind of stuff, and it's like what raunchy song can you sit there and put in the background? And now every single national park and is just going crazy with it.
Yeah, it's a world I never thought we'd live in, where the U.S. national parks would go vulgar. But yeah. I guess I'm here for it.
I think it's that shock factor is what you have to have to
we'll see if people are like, I really want to go to Yellowstone now after they compared it to a WAP.
Let me go and just scroll their TikTok. We'll just see what else is there, right? Could you imagine like a year from now, you're going like, oh, like you never were on TikTok and you're like, I just want to go and see what's going on. You're going like, what the heck just happened? Yeah. Like, who hijacked their account?
I just want to see some like caribou crossing roads and, and elk instead. I get.
Yep. I mean, it was, like I said, any kind of words or songs that you can think that would be explicitly and R-rated, it's now on all the national park accounts. So it's kind of funny.
It is funny.
It is actually quite funny.
I know. And then you're like, we need to recreate that here. And I'm like, do we? I'm like, where is Kenny gone?
Yeah, I was like, maybe don't go that far. That would it would probably miss. It would be a huge miss on our part.
Yeah, we don't have any geysers or waterfalls.
Yeah, we don't. We have barrel
hope
dumps.
For no geysers.
We have barrel dumps.
Barrel dumps. Yeah.
That
if we have a geyser, it's not good.
That's not good. But barrel dumps are pretty wet.
They are very.
Well, some other things that are going on. I got some feedback, Ryan. It's usually me that messes up on This Week in Bourbon when we say stuff. This time it was you.
Oh, what'd I do?
You were calling it cherry wine. It's cheer wine.
Or whatever. Cheer wine.
Cheer wine. People were like, it's cheer wine, Ryan. I was like,
whatever.
Yeah.
Get something better to do, folks. No, I'm kidding. Then correct my mistakes.
Hey, we're in front of the microphone. You've got to put on your thick skin, my friend. You got to have it in this business. I
got a text. Somebody that said,
well, did I?
Cheer wine says amazing. Say they were like, a cheer wine finish sounds amazing. That was my buddy Rick Hart in Texas. He was like, that sounds. I was like, I know.
If you're out there and you have access to gallons of syrup of cheer wine, let us know. We'd be interested in talking to you about it.
Everybody in North Carolina, pressure them because they said no to me. But if you're in North Carolina, please just bombard them with emails and let them know that I really want to do this.
Power in numbers is what it comes down to. And they'll cave at some point. Everybody does. I mean,
just be the squeaky wheel.
My wife has been telling me to pressure wash the driveway for weeks. I'm going to do it eventually.
It's on the to-do list, honey.
I've just got to get my pressure washer back from my dad. I mean, that's the biggest hang up.
Yeah. To-dos, I mean,
how long is yours
nothing's
right now?
urgent. And like,
no, it's not. That's the worst. They think their house is going to fall apart.
Exactly. They think like, I don't know. It's a lot of it's first world problems. And then I'm like, honey, every day I have a list of 35 things to do. I triage them, and then 17 more get added, and I try to get those through before I go to bed so I can sleep at night. I'm sorry, the damn electric outlet's crooked. Like, I'll get to it when I can.
I know the feeling. You know what I would really love is because I am tasked with digging out the grout in our shower like every 2 years because, it gets mold behind it, and it feels like I can never get in front of. There's always I
gotta do dark grout.
That must be what it is, because it's like she's always like, we got spots of mold again. You got to dig it all out and redo it. I'm like, at this point, I'm ready to just redo the entire bathroom, like just rip it all out.
And then 2 years later, there's more.
There's more. Well, I know, you couldn't get behind it. And by the way, people are like, well, you just have, a bad grout job and that's why it's getting behind there. It's like, probably the house has that bathroom has not been renovated since the 90s.
Yeah.
So it's 30 years old. I'm sure there's probably a reason. But I keep it clean. We bleach it. We bleach it out.
Sanitary. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all I care about. You can eat off of it. I eat off the floor all the time.
Sanity over vanity.
That's the
I've been saying that a lot lately.
It is. Yeah, I know. We're starting to realize that there is a lot of vanity around here, though.
Oh gosh.
I should say in the whiskey world.
In every world.
You need it. It's the shock factor.
That's right.
Let's see other things. We got some things for ambassadors coming up soon, but I'll probably be doing a call for more ambassadors here in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We are also going to be sponsoring the 3rd annual Bonsai Weekend happening Friday, May 30th through June 1st. So you got a couple weeks left. Go get your tickets. BonsaiWeekend.com happening here in Louisville. There's going to be tons of bonsai trees on display. 1,500 guests came from 18 states last year.
We did have an interesting concept. Bonsai finished whiskey.
Bonsai finished whiskey.
Yep.
There's something to it.
Toothpick by toothpick.
Just go ahead and put it in there. Nice little.
It'll mature slowly. That's what our guest said today. It was funny.
And you just have to prune it every couple months.
Yeah. Before you get, I want to give a shout out to my boys in Kansas City Bourbon Club. They came in town last week. They had a great time here. It's a new club in the Kansas City area, but started by one of our friends, Brian Lowe, at Dallas Bourbon Club, trying to recreate it in Kansas City. But they came here, had a great time, and I think they're going to do some awesome things in the Kansas City area. And I'll be in Kansas City the last week of July, so stay tuned to the Gram or emails, whatever, however you get our content, or
the Gram
just listening to me
and the emails. That's what you have to do.
Not TikTok. I don't like there.
Well, if we find time one of these days to spend more time on TikTok, we would.
I
but
know.
We're too deep. We're sitting here doing this. We're dealing with meetings, managing people. There's too much to going on.
Yeah, they say start a whiskey company.
It all evens out. Not really. Whatever. All right, let's go ahead and let's talk about something. And by the way, if you want to, we talked about this, we're actually doing our first P Club live event tonight, even though we're recording this on a Wednesday here, not on a Friday. But a lot of this all happens when we start talking about stuff inside of Facebook Pursuit's Parlor group. So if you want to kind of join there, see what's going on with Pursuit Spirits and stuff like that, come join Parlor. There's always people sharing stuff, their finds, tasting notes, making other people jealous about what they got and what they could find too.
Yeah. And I had somebody come on and said, they were talking about one expression. They said, I get this nice or drying oak sensation at the end. Where does that come from? And I go in there and I go,
it's probably the oak.
I go, it's probably the oak. It's funny. He thought it was funny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to get the best of Ryan's quick, witty humor, you're going to find it on Parlor there.
That's right.
And although other shout out is that we will be sponsoring 2 whiskey festivals coming up. That's going to be this weekend, Whiskey Riot San Antonio, and next weekend is Whiskey Riot in Dallas, Fort Worth.
It's a riot.
Make it a riot. All right. So also, I got to get another shout out too. It's my wife's worst nightmare. I mean, I shouldn't say it's the worst nightmare because it comes true probably.
Sweater moths again?
No, not that. Me being recognized in public.
Oh.
She does not like it one bit. I mean, she deals with it, but we were at this Con Huevos, which is
great spot
here. It's like Mexican breakfast. There's actually way too many taco places around Louisville, but we can save that for another conversation. But this guy came up and he goes, hey, really appreciate what you do. I'm a big fan. And then all of a sudden people are looking at me like, who the hell is this guy? Like, either taking pictures or Googling. But I do want to give a shout out to James from Indianapolis. He stopped me and he mentioned that he was here because he had signed up for he called himself, he's like, I'm one of the people you called a dumbass. I signed up for the Heaven Hill Connoisseur Club. And I was
so they're out there.
Touche. But I did ask him, I said, how was the Connoisseur event? And he said it was really, really well done. And I did see some pictures from our friend Jeff Crow over there. He posted on his Facebook profile. I mean, it rolled out the blue carpet, velvet ropes.
Oh, wow.
It was a bow tie kind of event for those kind of folks. So a little bit more upscale
Elevated.
than the P Club pickup party over here, but hey, for a $2,000 membership, I'd hope so.
Yeah. I'll have to look up those photos. I want to feel VIP,
It
but
is.
I don't have $2,000.
Well, we don't have a blue red carpet over here, so
No, we got
some dusty
dusty
floors.
rugs. We can get out.
Dusty rugs. That's about what we can do right here. All right, let's talk about some bourbon news. First is that Old Elk has been acquired. I had no idea this had happened. It came originally from a website called the Barrel and Rye Club, I think, or something like that, or bourbonandryeclub.com, where he had kind of dug into it and found out that it had been acquired by Middle West Spirits, and it finally hit a major publication in the drinks, I think BevNet this morning. But part of this is said that they have officially closed their tasting room, which was the Reserve in Fort Collins, Colorado. Beyond that, I don't know what's going on, what it means for the brand or anybody else going forward. So time will tell.
Yeah, I saw the announcement on Facebook of the tasting, the Reserve. It's called the Reserve, I think. Great spot. It was awesome in Fort Collins. Great cocktails, food. But I saw it was closing. I was like, oh, dang, that sucks. And then they said more news to come. And I was like, well, maybe they're opening in different
Second
location
one. Yeah,
or something.
Nope, not at all.
And then
They are. They're going to open up in Ohio.
And then I saw, I don't know, I was like scrolling through Instagram looking for ideas, and then like these two, I can't remember the handle, but these two girls were talking about Old Elk selling to Middle West, and I was like, Middle West? That makes no sense to me.
That's what I thought.
But I mean, I am a fan of Middle West products. They've been, especially that Pumpernickel Rye, it's really good. But I just always assumed, the play would be Old Elk going to MGP because they're already, contract distilling there and whatnot. But obviously MGP's in a
Different little
squeeze,
pickle. Yeah.
tough position these days. But yeah, it's exciting for Old Elk and Middle West. I'm not, in my mind, I'm like, it doesn't make sense, but I'm sure it will moving forward.
It didn't seem like a likely acquisition target, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll wait for somebody to push it out there and say, hey, this is what's going on with Greg Metz now.
Yeah, they got
out.
a huge contract facility, and they're making really good whiskey. So, I mean, it's a good move for Old Elk.
Oh,
Hopefully it gives, because probably Old Elk has way more brand recognition than Middle West, so maybe that's the play there.
It could be. Well, let's keep going here. This is talking about, remember the Oregon scandal, their own Pappy scandal, where they're kind of
I thought you meant like selling off organs.
No, like the Oregon Government Ethics Commission. Anyway, the Democratic governor, Tina Kotek, had negotiated a deal to pay a $500 fine to the other person that was part of this. However, they said that was not stiff enough. So in a 7-1 vote last Friday, the Ethics Commission rejected that deal. And Susan Myers, who's the commissioner's executive director, said that her investigation showed practice of buying bottles of Pappy Van Winkle outside of the regular process for all the customers of state regular liquor store system that had reached more back than 3 decades.
Whoa.
Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Pappy's been selling that long.
I know. But anyway, they just said,
I guess so, 1990s. Yeah, I think, it was mid-90s maybe, late 90s.
But I don't know why you would even care in the late 90s. Nobody wanted it.
They were like K-Stacks, toddies.
Yeah, it's like, just go take it. We're trying to give this shit away. I don't know. Whatever. So private equity firm InvestBev has now agreed to an 8-figure sum to support the growth of RD1, or Registered One Distillery. The financial agreement between the two companies is undisclosed, but said to be in the 8-figure ballpark.
All right.
It's a lot of money.
A lot of moolah.
A lot of moolah. Hopefully they do something good with it.
Yeah, and they had their ribbon cutting.
They did. They just opened up their new tasting room in Lexington as well. So if you're heading to the trail, you want to go and see somewhere new, hop on over to Lexington.
Yeah. See our friend Barry.
Yep. Another one here is that Smokin' Oak. That is it's actually a new book.
That's your new nickname?
Smokin' Oak? Remember, hold the smoke. Just the sweet oak. But this is a new book that's now coming out, and it's about cigars and bourbon. And it's called Smokin' Oak, The Shared Legacy of Bourbon and Cigars. It's an American story of craft culture and the science of a perfect pairing. And this is the latest work by author, researcher, and entrepreneur Sebastian Saviano. Spanning over 4 centuries, Smokin' Oak traces how cigars and bourbon, which was once a humble colonial commodity, has evolved into enduring symbols of craftsmanship, ritual, and regional pride. a comprehensive dual history of American bourbon and cigars from the late 1600s to the modern boutique era. They also talk about the challenges of the Prohibition and the Cuban embargo, how each industry adapted and revived. There's also the scientific exploration of flavor compounds, regional terroir comparisons, and there's a full pairing guide available as well. And this is going to be available starting May 28th.
I need that name. Makes me sound Sebastian Saviano.
Yeah, I
that
know.
Sounds sophisticated.
It sounds fancy. Sounds like somebody that would be pairing cigars and bourbon a lot.
He was born for it. It's destiny.
It's
like Matt Pittman and
being a pit master.
Yeah, being a pit master.
Golly, but the Cecil name goes back generations in Bardstown, and you had bootleggers and you had prostitutes.
That's right.
That second one I don't really know about, but I'm sure there was a bootlegger in there.
Definitely bootleggers. No brothels.
We don't know there's a brothel. Well, it's never too late to start, Ryan.
It didn't come back on my ancestry DNA results that we had brothels.
How deep did your 23andMe go?
Yep.
All right, so our last news story here is that Lofted Spirits has announced the elevation of Mr. Dan Callaway to the role of Master Blender, recognizing his long-standing influence on the company's innovation-driven whiskey program. He was formerly the Vice President of Product Development at Bardstown Bourbon Company, and he has now stepped into an overarching position that reflects his leadership in blending artistry, creative exploration, and category-shaping collaborations. He will continue to oversee blending for Bardstown Bourbon Company's acclaimed line of Kentucky straight whiskeys, while also expanding his influence across the broader Lofted Spirits portfolio. And, of course, Green River.
Yeah, I remember we recorded an episode with him.
We recorded an episode that was like over a year ago.
No, it was like 3 years ago.
It was 3 years ago?
And so I texted Dan and I was like, congrats, buddy. It only took 3 years to announce because we had to cut it out of the episode.
We never released it.
Oh, God.
It's still sitting in the folder.
Well, now we can release it.
It was with Dan and with Nick. He came and we talked about him becoming Master Blender, and they said, please don't release that yet until they make an announcement.
Oh.
Now here we are, May 14th, 2025. Actually, go ahead. Keep talking. I can look and see how old that episode is.
Yeah. I mean, obviously very deserving. Dan's one of the best in the game. He's got a creative mind and some of the, interesting collaborations. I've had the fortunate opportunity to create a collaboration blend with him, and he's definitely one of the most forward thinker, creative minds in whiskey blending. And so obviously this is well deserved. It's pretty much doing what he's already been doing, but I guess maybe now he can offer a service to other clients, but I think he was doing that from the get-go. But now it's at least official.
They were waiting to get some money in the door to give him a title and a pay bump. Maybe that's what it was.
Those corporations, they're titles.
So anyway, we recorded that back on April 21st of 2023.
Oh, so 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll release it. I don't know. I don't remember.
Get your shining moment, Dan.
I don't even know what we talked about.
Who knows?
I think it was right when they were releasing Origin Series and all that. And
no, that was before. Or maybe it was.
It might have been. And that's what we started talking about.
No, because Origin was 24, I think.
Was it?
I don't know. These years are running together.
Not only the years, the days, my friend.
Yep.
It's getting bad. Getting gray, getting old. But it's whiskey. It's fun. All right, let's take a quick break. That is all for the bourbon news. Stick around as usual. Bourbon release news coming right at you. Hey everybody, welcome back. It is bourbon release news time, and we only got 3 of them, so we're going to hit this really quickly. The first is that Knob Creek is now excited to announce the newest evolution of its single barrel select program. Probably what they should have been doing from the very beginning is that it is now a cask strength offering of uncut and unfiltered Knob Creek, and it's going to be about 110 to 130 points in the bourbon side, 100 to 120 proof points on the rye side, and it'll be $70 per bottle.
Sounds good. Get those proof chasers and make them happy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, nobody was unhappy with Knob Creek, even when it was at 125 proof or 120.
Plenty there.
It's just, it's marketing. And what's like,
when it's 120.8, it makes me just so better.
I get all the lipids and the fatty acids
exactly.
and all this stuff. Yeah. We can say what we want, but another one is that Hard Truth Distilling. They've announced the release of American Odd Sweet Mash Bourbon Whiskey. This is the 4th in a 4-part collectible series of sweet mash whiskeys in collaboration with Mellencamp Whiskey Company. And each bottle's label is a 4-part series featuring the original work by Mr. John Mellencamp himself. The new release is the first to take the name of the Mellencamp painting, which is called American Odd. It was painted in 2020 on a 60 by 48 canvas featuring a house paint, oil, and charcoal on masonite. I don't know, I guess. I'm not an art collector. Samsonite. I was way off. The special batch of bottled and bond bourbon was made from 100% Indiana grains, aged for 4 years in char and toasted combinations designed by Independent Stave and exclusively for Hard Truth sweet mash bourbons. It's an 82% Indiana corn from, I don't know, all these farmers or whatever. Anyway, it's 100 proof and will have a retail price of $70.
Sounds good. Their rye's always good.
Hard Truth comes out with a lot of products.
They do.
More than...
They have a lot of visitors, though, so they got to keep it, the variety going.
I forget how often people actually go there. What they say, they get like
$750,000 or something.
That's more than Buffalo Trace. That can't be right.
I think it's right, man.
I mean, when we went there that one day, there might have been 10 people.
It was a Monday.
Yeah, we didn't go on a high day. All right. Well, I'll go back and eat at their restaurant. I'll tell you that.
Yep. Cool patio.
Get some
amphitheater and all that.
Toasted coconut
rum. Coconut rum. Solid. Mm-hmm. And their bourbon cream.
Yes. Very, very good. I mean, their whiskey's great too.
Yep.
The last one here, Blue Run Spirits. They're releasing the third collection of the Blue Run Flight series. This is a collection of micro batch whiskeys that was crafted by Coors Spirits Company's head of whiskey development and innovation. Her name is Shaylin Gammon. The 6 micro-batched whiskey expressions that make up each flight utilize no more than 4 barrels and 4 mash bills. The Flight Series number 3 is the first of the Blue Run Flight Series to blend both Kentucky Straight Bourbon and Kentucky Straight Rye. So it's a Bourbon Rye. The contract distilleries also include Castle and Key, Bardstown Bourbon Company, and another undisclosed facility. And all barrels were in number 3 and number 4. There's 6 different flights here. I'm not going to tell you about each of them, but you had Beach and Blooms, Buck and Brush, Philly and Fiddle.
Buck and Brush. I like that.
Sails and Rails.
Sails and Rails.
Man, that sounds like you're just
This is like the national parks.
Sails and Rails sounds like you're on a yacht just doing below the entire time. And then Sun and Salt.
Sun and Salt.
Yeah. I'm more of a Sails and Rails guy. What about you?
I'm a Buck and Brush.
You're a Buck and Brush kind of guy?
That's me.
There you go.
That's what the Cecil name's for. But no.
I like it.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm sure they're great. Shaylin's super talented, uber talented. So yeah, I love everything she puts together.
Yeah, no, this is all good. And each of these are going to be available for $125 each.
The crazy thing about her is she doesn't use her palate. She uses her nose to do everything. It's amazing.
That's why we don't trust her.
Yeah. Well, no, it's like, I mean, I can smell things and be like, oh, okay. But I don't know. It's amazing what she can do with just her nose.
Yeah. Well, there must be something to it.
There is.
I'm
failing.
Always notes that we can take from everybody else. You're doing a great job, Ryan. Are you kidding me?
The best I can.
I loved our barrel proof bourbon and barrel proof rye that just released. It's the favorite in my collection right now.
Oh, well, thank you.
So when people come over like, what's your favorite bourbon right now? I'll be like, it's my own.
That's right.
It's always my own. Don't ever ask me that ever again. All right, that's it. That's This Week in Bourbon. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Toodles.